Good morning.
Thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for getting the word out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I try to drag people to seats.
Well, this is possibly the last time. Well, not the last time you may be in Boston, but this is the Goodbye Yeller Brick Road tour, and this is the final tour, you're calling it.
Yeah, it is the final tour. I mean, I'll do a show every once in a while, but I'm not doing 150 shows every year and traveling around as if I'm in search of something.
Well, what was it that made you finally say, that's it, I'm done being on the road?
I would have retired if it weren't for the pandemic by the time the pandemic was over. And then it was like, okay, now I've got stuff I want to, I do want to say goodbye. So it was like, I started back on the road and realized I got to wrap this up because there are things I'd like to do. Like I'd like to go back and write, and I'd like to maybe write a book, write a play, write something. Even if I'm waking up and just writing, I want to do that again. And that's become tougher, in terms of doing that and the shows. I used to be able to do that pretty easily, and now it's like, no, I'm just going to sit down and do some writing and go to some places I'd like to see. But you know what? Mainly to have fun. That's the bottom line.
Right. You got to get some of that into life.
Yeah, and I've been doing like 125 to 200 shows a year, really, on the average. So, and which has been great. And don't get me wrong, I love doing it, but it's also become tougher to tour. It's harder to work out a schedule of shows that make most sense. Make sense in the sense of, I used to be able to travel 3-4 hours between shows. Now it's 6-8 hours. It puts a stress on the driver. It's not as much fun.
Yeah, I guess that's when you when you got to say, all right, when it's not fun anymore, and that you're in a profession, specifically stand up, where, if there's not even a little bit of fun, then you shouldn't be doing it because the audience can tell, right?
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, this has been great, and the great thing about this is it's kind of like at the beginning when you don't know what you're doing, and you just go, "I'm going to go do this." Now I do what I do. I do know what I'm doing, and I'm just going to go do this. So I would say I'm about as crazy as I've ever been since I started.
Is there anything?
Because I really, like last week, and I was in Great Barrington, and 10 things had happened over the course of the week, and I just went on stage for 15 minutes without any preparation, which I don't do much of anyway. I mean, I write on stage, but I just started going, and I went for 15 minutes. I don't even know what I said.
Well, there must be something that you'll miss from touring.
Oh, I miss everything about it. It's kind of like it's nice to show up in a town and a whole bunch of people know who you are, and it's like going from neighborhood to neighborhood in a way, and it's nice to go on stage and have people be as excited to see you. I mean, they're more excited to see me than I've ever been to see myself. And, I'll miss the audience, I mean, because they're the ones who really defined where my comedy went in a bunch of ways.
Now, so you're giving up touring, just to be clear, but you're not giving up performing. You said you'll appear here or there at your own pace.
I mean, I'll open for some folks, like my friend Kathleen Madigan. Occasionally, I'll show up if she needs an opener, or other folks that I know, or I do a rantcast, and I may do that live from time to time.
The rantcast is excellent, and I don't know is there another podcast that does that takes submissions from the fans and then goes over them, like just you rant for your listeners, basically. Is there another podcast?
No, I don't think there's anything quite like it.
Yeah.
And trying to get folks to realize there's nothing quite like it that's another reason I'm done. It's exhausting trying to get the word out. It's kind of like, I'm doing this. Really? Yeah, I'm doing this. And it was a lot easier just before the pandemic when I could kind of do an hour, and I could do my show and then do a rant is due, where I would do it live and people kind of knew about it. And now I'm doing it through the podcast. But if you take, in terms of Boston, I'm hoping folks will send in some rants, because I might try to do a live broadcast out of there if I can.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. Start sending in your rants. Okay.
And it doesn't. And remember, it doesn't have to be serious, and and try to keep them under 25 minutes.
Right. Well, I mean, I recently heard one that not you, but someone was going off on goldfish and the fact that they're smiling before you actually eat them, and that really disturbed that person. So yeah, you cover the whole gamut. It's a full spectrum of issues that people have that you're there to voice. It's some kind of therapy, I guess that would be.
It is. I mean, a lot of people who just, they'll end it by saying, I don't care if you read this or not. I'm glad somebody read it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You ever, you must have done Vegas residencies before. Is there anything like that you're going to be doing? Like going maybe Vegas for a couple of weeks or a month or something like that?
No. If I go to Vegas, I'll go play golf.
Yeah. Nice.
I did. I played for a while. I played about 3 or 4 times a year. I did like a week at the MGM, and it was just too crazy. My parents loved it. They would start the week, and they were in their 90s and slow, and by the end of the week, they were ready to roll, and I was ready to kind of take a vacation. So I really I don't see a residency,
right.
Not even at the Sphere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what about? You've had huge success with the Inside Out movies, and you've done other voiceover work. The SpongeBob SquarePants stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any more of that in the future, whether it's being a voice acting or maybe even on screen?
I think there'll be. I'm hoping. That's something else I'd like to open. I wasn't able to get some stuff done because get some parts that I was up for, or really it picked me, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't work the schedule out with my touring schedule. So I'm hoping, and I'm especially in terms of voiceovers, because that's so easy. It's perverted. It's you don't have to dress up. They do all the work of the physicalization of your character, and also the folks at Pixar just announced in December they're going to be coming out with an animated series which takes place between Inside Out and Inside Out 2.
Are you going to be part of that?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. That's great.
I'm very happy about it.
Maybe they'll stretch it out like the Ice Age movies. I mean, Ray Romano, how many are those? There's like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled that we came in. We're now the 9th highest, the ninth largest selling film of all time. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh, they're great movies too. I mean, it's just
thank you.
helping kids kind of figure it out at an age where it's kind of hard for them to figure it out, and it's also hard for maybe their parents or adults to explain it to them. You know, so it's to put it up there like that. I think they're awesome movies.
They really are. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and it's the first time I've ever. It's really easy for me to say, go see this movie. Just do it. I don't care. And if you don't like it, you're an idiot. I mean, that's my feeling about it. And especially for a kid, I mean, it would if I'd had those movies when I was a kid, I can't imagine how much I would have saved in therapy.
Well, if you did, then maybe we wouldn't be talking right now, and you would.
That's true.
You wouldn't have been on the road for 150 days a year getting it out of your system.
Well, that's really true. That's absolutely true.
Are you the longest lasting contributor to The Daily Show?
Yeah.
Like you were there
nobody
before
longer,
Jon
nobody
Stewart.
even close. Yeah. Oh, I was there with Craig Kilborn.
Yeah.
I was there I was there. I was on either the first or the second week the show was on.
Yeah, that's where I first saw you. Was when Craig Kilborn was the host.
That's where it started. Yep.
Yeah, and are you still going to continue to work with The Daily Show?
Yeah, I did one last week. That
Nice.
if you go to X, idiots, X. If you go there, you can find my. You can see it. You can see the latest one I did, which was about influencers.
Yes.
These people who influence on the basis of the fact that nothing that I can see.
Well, it's all about followers. I mean, now that you're off the road, you're going to have to boost up your followers. Maybe you can get yourself some UGG boots and take a selfie at a pumpkin patch and. I'm
not good at it. To me, the weirdest thing about social media is it's people yell and scream about going to high school, and social media that's what social media is. It's high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
The influencers are the most popular, and you get the more likes you get, you're more popular, and the kids are, bullied in the same way. I mean, people screamed about high school, and now they're doing it as adults. Idiots.
Yeah.
Idiots.
The different.
I just have never enjoyed it or had fun with it or thought. My friend Kathleen is great at it. She gets it. I don't, but she's almost a different generation. That's part of the other reason I'm kind of moving on. I'm the the industrial end of comedy, and the technological end of comedy has been born, and they're the ones who were, it's their turn.
That's right. You're creating things with your bare hands. And meanwhile they're just taking selfies. But what the difference between high school is, the mean girls and the football team captains are making a ton of money doing it, which is really makes it worse than high school, actually.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that, and yeah, you ruined my day.
Oh, great. I'm glad I could help you out on the tour here. One final thing before I let you go, Louis, and
sure.
It's just I know that you're one of the people that I really love when you're covering politics. Can I just say that I wouldn't mind seeing RFK Jr. as president of the United States, only because we've already had Trump, and I was like, how much more weird could this get? And then RFK Jr. comes out with the bear carcass story in Central Park. Yep. After this is my favorite part is, though, after falconing with friends in the Hudson Valley.
And, that's my opener. I use that
really?
to tell the story. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this whole whale head thing, the chainsawing a whale head off of whale carcass and putting it on the top of his car, which is gross, but somehow just because he's a Kennedy doesn't really surprise me, because that whole family is bizarre.
And he was having some sort of a relationship while he was running.
What, with the worm? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the worm. All the other stuff proved is that the worm did eat part of his brain. But no, this is if you go online, there's just look up Robert Kennedy Jr. affair. Apparently, he was having with a woman who got fired from New York Magazine.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah,
the fun never stops.
He would be, way more interesting in Trump and weirder. And I think a genuine way. And, one of my things is you got to follow through. And if we're going to get weird with the White House, let's just push it as far as it can go. All
right. Well, you enjoy it. That'll be another reason for me to retire.
Well, Louis Black, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Again, you got 2 shows coming up, and maybe the last chance to see him in Boston before you have to travel to him to see him. The Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the final tour at the Wilbur Theatre. The 28th, I believe, is sold out, but there's still tickets available on the 29th. So grab those up at thewilbur.com.
And it's a great venue, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Louis. Thank you. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you giving it to me, but thanks a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Good luck on the rest of this tour and everything afterwards.
All right, thanks.